Tonight, how families are fighting back against rising power prices. A man behind bars charged with the attempted murder of a woman on the Central Coast. Never before seen footage of the day Cleo Smith vanished from her family's campsite. Streets right across northern New South Wales turn pink for a special cause and for the magnificent mothers in our lives. And Kaylin Ponga stars for the Knights as Newcastle powers past the Titans.
This is NBN News.
Good evening. There's been a surge in households complaining about high energy bills this year. The Energy Ombudsman has seen an almost 50% spike in complaints, but says there are ways to fight back.
For the state's households, cost of living pain has been dominated by energy prices.
Definitely a 20 to 25% increase in bills. Definitely impacts your budget and means there's not enough money for other spending.
That's reflected in complaints.
They're high to nearly 50%, so people are doing it really tough.
And there's another sting coming. An energy regulator estimated households
Bills definitely impacts your budget and
Still high energy complaints. It went up close to...
don't lock in a cheaper deal. That could add as much as $383 to family bills in the next year. The regulator added that it could have been worse if a federal government cap on coal and gas prices hadn't been implemented. While that might be a little comfort, a joint federal-state program will also deliver $500 off energy bills for pensioners, veterans, seniors and other concession card holders, along with recipients of the carer allowance and family tax benefit. Other rebates are available for those eligible through Service New South Wales.
We're always on the lookout for ways of reducing the cost of living for families across New South Wales in particular.
If you do get a bill you think is too high,
First thing they should do is ring their energy retailer and ask them, firstly, to check the accuracy of the bill. There might be something wrong, but if it's not that, to explain the impact of the price increases. Ask for the best contract that suits the way that you use electricity within your home.
and if you're still unhappy, you can contact the Energy and Water Ombudsman. Eddie Meyer, NBN News.
The constant challenge of reducing unemployment is occupying the Treasurer and the opposition as each try to sell their economic visions. And while the goal is the same for both, the dispute is over how to get there.
Tonight, from coast to coast and cafes to construction, there are more Australians working than ever before.
You can't walk into a small business or any business around Australia right now without them telling you about the challenges of finding workers.
But there are still some out of work. The Coalition's plan would allow those on JobSeeker to work an extra 7 hours or earn an extra $150 a fortnight before the JobSeeker payment is reduced.
Getting more people into work was already a central feature of our economic plan before Peter Dutton started scratching around for something to say in budget week.
If there was ever an opportunity to get people into work, it's now. If you get people into work, they get many times what they would get from this job seeker increase.
A similar plan has been adopted with pensioners. The government tonight planning to work with community leaders, allocating $200 million to education facilities, local governments and employment groups in areas of higher long-term unemployment. The Treasurer labelling it a passion during his pre-budget interview on 9 and reiterating today.
That was our focus before budget week, during budget week, and it will be after budget week as well, as we move towards the employment white paper that I'll be releasing later in the year.
Getting people into work and working is the best way to improve somebody's life.
The Treasurer now takes the budget on the road, crossing the country in the next 5 days before the focus goes global with the G7 and Quad summits in the weeks ahead. Charles Croucher, NBN News.
Cleo Smith's parents have revealed their daughter is still plagued by nightmares in their first interview since her kidnapper Terence Kelly was sentenced. Tonight we can show you police video from the day Cleo vanished, including the moment her parents woke to find the 4-year-old had been taken.
Caller.
Hi, my daughter's gone missing.
How old's your daughter?
She's 4.
The beginning of a nightmare. This call just moments after Ellie Smith's world stopped. Her daughter, Cleo, gone, snatched as her family slept at the remote Blowholes campground in 2021.
And just there.
Yep.
We woke up this morning and she was missing.
Yep.
the 4-year-old vanishing along with her sleeping bag and kept prisoner in a Carnarvon home for 18 days. Her kidnapper, the doll-obsessed loner, Terence Kelly.
He had his fantasies and he was trying to make them come to life. It just happened to be that it was our tent that he got into.
Speaking for the first time since the 36-year-old was sentenced to 13 and a half years jail.
She still has her sad nights, her nightmare nights, something she just can't explain.
During his sentencing, disturbing new details. Little Cleo left locked in a room, allowed radio use to conceal her cries, at times recognising her own name on broadcasts.
Obviously, it hurts to know that she was crying out for help and we weren't there. It hurts to know that she was crying out for help and it was ignored.
Kelly admitted he was high on meth at the time, living in an idealised fantasy world to escape his traumatic past that included a tangled web of social media profiles for a family that didn't exist.
You know, he wanted a daughter, he wanted a wife.
18 days of hell eventually ending when detectives smashed their way into his locked home. WA police work now being looked at by international agencies.
It began as a massive wide spectrum of investigation and narrowed and narrowed and narrowed, and just prior to his arrest they became more focused on him.
The nightmare still isn't over. Just this week, Terence Kelly began challenging his sentence, his legal team lodging documents in the Court of Appeal arguing proper weight wasn't given to his disadvantaged childhood. Trauma he's now inflicted on another child.
And you can see the full interview with Cleo's parents in tonight's episode of 60 Minutes at 9 o'clock. A man's been charged with the attempted murder of a woman on the Central Coast overnight. Police allege he stabbed the 56-year-old several times at a home at Lake Haven at around 9 o'clock, then broke into a nearby property with a hammer and caused extensive damage inside. The woman, who is known to the man, is in a serious but stable condition in hospital. The 68-year-old remains in custody and will face court tomorrow. Well-used soccer and athletics fields at Wallsend have been vandalised by senseless hoons, with a driver ripping up sections of turf on Federal Park, impacting weekend sport.
It's been happening too often, particularly Federal Park seems to be dogged by vandals, reckless vandals, which just causes not only immense trouble for the community, but particularly for our soccer teams.
Ms Hornery says volunteers now have to repair the fields, which will be very costly for local clubs. She's also calling for council to install fencing. A much-loved Italian eatery in Newcastle has given its menu a controversial makeover in a bid to stay afloat. The formerly vegan restaurant Pino's now catering to everyone, and experts say bold changes may be coming for more businesses right across the region.
It's an Islington institution, but the stakes had never been higher for plant-based Pino's restaurant, forced to drop their exclusive vegan tag to avoid going under.
We went from turnover about 20 slowly over time as the interest rates have increased. We went down to 18, 16, and then more recently around scary.
The menu overhaul sparking controversy, but it was the only way.
It got quite personal for a little bit there, but we also received a lot of love and support from people. Last week was probably sitting around 10, and then this week we're sitting around 16, 18 again, so it's definitely worked.
Business Hunter says spending habits have changed over the last few months.
People who are seeing their net income drop, keeping their hands in their pocket, spending less, or being more discreet about what they spend it on.
People who come in for coffee every day are kind of coming in once a week now.
Experts predict an increasing number of local businesses will modify their operations over the next few months as they attempt to stay afloat in the current financial climate.
We expect the sort of flexible response that Pino's done to be more widespread.
It's not just food, it's every industry's really impacted by interest rates increasing. Everyone's kind of just hanging in there.
These kids in Merriweather going the extra mile to make some cash.
Well, the smaller bunches like this are like $3, and then the bigger bunches, which we use those plants for, are $5.
Cost of living is hard, and that's where she's trying to pay back some money that she's borrowed from me to buy things that she wants. And I'm like, we just don't have the spare cash anymore, so you need to help earn it back.
The message for consumers: shop and dine locally. Olivia Grace Curran, NBN News.
Mothers across the country have been celebrated today to honour the special roles they play. For many, it also represents an ongoing battle or a loved one lost. But hundreds hit the pavement at Stockton to raise money for breast cancer research, lacing up their shoes for the Mother's Day Classic.
A bright start to the day, 600 people transforming Stockton's foreshore pink for the Mother's Day Classic.
There's lots of fun times and celebration, but we're also here to remember those people that have battled breast cancer themselves, and those people that we've lost along the way as well.
Today's run raising more than $38,000 for the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
A friend of mine's mother got diagnosed with breast cancer 13 years ago, so we've done the Mother's Day Classic ever since.
From helping mum on the sidelines to finishing as a family. The event, just one of many gifts.
I got her a candle, some seeds, and...
I'm still waiting.
The kids will probably have something for her when we get back to there.
And there were plenty of last-minute shoppers with florists ready and waiting.
I think this has been one of the busiest Mother's Days I've seen. It is always last minute, but they've really come in.
The annual rush making Mother's Day the busiest day of the year.
I'd say with Valentine's Day, it's probably not as busy as this because everyone really shops for a mum, and they've got a grandma or a mother-in-law that they also need to include.
It's also a chance to remember those who are no longer with us. Brothers Dave and Glenn come together every year to visit their late mother's gravesite.
This is what we do, and I'm pretty sure everybody does this for the...
We come all the way from Dundalk, and I live in Stockton. He's come and picking me up, and we're going down there to do our thing.
Jack Howard, NBN News.
And Mother Nature ended up turning on a lovely morning for the mums before some cloudy skies and showers this afternoon. A cool start in the valley, dipping to 4 degrees at Merriwar, 6 to 20 at Singleton today, a top of 22 at Maitland, 11 to 20 at Norby's Head, and 20 also the top at Nelson Bay. You're watching NBN News. Still ahead, a remarkable story. A missing mother stumbles out of bushland after a week with one simple request. Also, the life-saving new service now available in New South Wales for kids with heart conditions. And meet the inspiring young cancer survivor now helping save others.
Mouth-watering meals at home start with quality Coles ingredients, like fresh Coles Finest carbon-neutral Scotch fillet steak, 375 grams, now just $18. That's value the Australian way at Coles.
Hey Mom, how are you, love? Yeah, I'm good. But I miss you guys. We're just talking about you.
Hey bro.
Hey, you're missing out on this.
It's not the same here without you, darling.
I'm not trying to call you.
We're all packed up here. I just wanted to show you around one last time.
I really didn't need to be living in this big house with all you boys gone. Hey bro, me and the boys had an idea for Mum's 60th.
It feels like home to me. Feels like home. What is this? Feels like home where I come from. Feels like all the way back where I belong.
How do you choose the ones you save?
He's coming for you with everything.
Can save more. Faster.
The Nick Scali Lounge sale is on now. Save up to 50% on a huge range of leather and fabric lounges. Up to half price at the Nick Scali Lounge sale. On now.
At Clarendon Homes, we've been building beautiful homes for Australian families for over 43 years. Over this time, we've found it's the memories made that bring families together to make a Clarendon home truly your. We have over 70 designs, each with a range of options to personalise your home to the way you live. On now.
July market offer, which is the highest retailers can charge for those who don't block.
Disney On Ice presents 100 Years of Wonder at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre from July 20. Book now at Ticketek. Things are really heating up at Heating and Outdoors by Glendale Warehouse. See the huge range of wood heaters, gas heaters and gas log fires, plus friendly service and expert advice. Now at 2 locations, Glendale and Thornton.
Mouthwatering meals at home start with quality Coles ingredients, like fresh Coles Finest carbon-neutral Scotch fillet steak, 375 grams, now just $18. That's value the Australian way at Coles.
Drivers managed to escape their burning car, which erupted into flames in Newcastle today. The Toyota Yaris began smoking on Turton Road at Broadmeadow at around 11:30, flames quickly taking hold. Firefighters were able to extinguish it fairly quickly, but the incident couldn't have come at a worse time, with the blaze causing major traffic delays for drivers heading to McDonald Jones Stadium for the night's match. A miracle on Mother's Day. That's how the family of Julie Shute is describing her survival after 7 days lost in remote South Australian bushland. The mother of 3 was found wandering out of scrub this morning, 10 kilometres from where she disappeared, asking for a drink of water.
An emotional embrace outside the Streaky Bay Hospital. Clifford Shute supported by mates after the phone call he'd been waiting and hoping for, telling him his wife Julie had been found alive.
At that point I lost complete control of myself, and took me a couple of minutes to pull myself back together and said, yeah, righto, and he's she was going to get down to the hospital.
The Queensland couple on holidays when the mother of 3 disappeared from the small town on SA's Eyre Peninsula, finally reunited this morning, exactly 1 week after she vanished.
We both just smiled, and the usual hugs and kisses and whatnot, and can't exactly remember what I said, but we were just happy to be there.
This CCTV was the only clue when Julie disappeared. Her family says she'd gone for a walk to clear her mind, then somehow lost her way.
No food, and very little water. She was just walking, trying to find a way out, and just got walking in circles. She sort of felt like at the end, but trying to walk towards noise.
A week-long search through dense bushland and property surrounding the town yielded no sign of Julie until today.
A member of the public who was northwest of Streaky Bay to say that they'd found a person wandering out of the scrub and had come up to this member of the public to ask for water.
A huge thanks. It's they were on the job straight away and just kept pouring more into it.
Julie was located 10 kilometres from town, disoriented and desperate to be found. Her husband Clifford never gave up hope, describing his wife as a fighter who can conquer anything.
Yeah, you had to just hang in there, and because miracles always happen, and it did.
Children in New South Wales who need heart transplants have to go to Melbourne for life-saving surgery. But that's about to change. A dedicated pediatric heart transplant service has been created at the Children's Hospital at Westmead, taking away the stress of travel for patients and their families.
Sua Maskale has the best Mother's Day present imaginable. She has her son, Ahmed.
During the surgery, Ahmed suffered cardiac arrest and he died for a whole 2 minutes before they managed to bring him back.
It was the middle of COVID. He needed an immediate heart transplant. Normally the operation would be done in Melbourne, but Ahmed would have never survived the trip. And so it was performed at the Children's Hospital at Westmead by surgeon Ian Nicholson.
Ian, you saw how bad he was before. Now the operation is finished. What's that like for you?
Sorry. I don't need to say anything.
I'll say it for him. Dr. Nicholson and his team brought Ahmed back from the dead. Literally.
Now the hospital has been given funding, an initial $1.8 million, so paediatric heart transplants can be performed here for children 12 and above.
some children that lost their lives as a result of the centre not being located in New South Wales. Either travel was too difficult for the family, or they were just too sick to get on a plane and travel to Victoria.
As the transplant service for children 12 years and above expands here at Westmead, there's the hope that those children under 12 will also be able to have their transplant here instead of travelling to Melbourne. Life-changing surgery done here at a world-leading hospital in the heart of Western Sydney. It's expected the Pediatric Transplant Service at the Children's Hospital at Westmead will undertake up to 5 transplants every year.
We will forever be grateful and we thank you.
In Westmead, Mark Burrows, NBN News.
A new behind-the-scenes video from the coronation has been released, but King Charles isn't the star. Instead, it follows the Prince and Princess of Wales and their children during last weekend's historic celebration. It's a modern touch from the young royals, featuring shots from inside their private apartment at Kensington Palace, and William rehearsing his speech before the coronation concert. Lauren Kempe joins us now for a quick look at the weather, and Lauren, we can expect some more rain this week.
Jane, it'll be cool and mostly cloudy across northern New South Wales tomorrow, with the odd shower developing along the coast. Easterly winds and a fair amount of moisture is feeding into a series of troughs sitting near the edges on SA's Eyre Peninsula at Macquarie and Coffs Harbour, 23 at Grafton, a little bit cooler in Armidale, 17 degrees the top. And Jane, I'll have some more detail. Look forward to it. Easterly winds and a fair amount at Eurovision, along with a surprise royal performance. An Australian icon returned to the Royal National Park after 50 years. And the fugitive who was left high and dry while on the run from police.
Fight bad smells with Breath Blue Active. Hygienically clean and fresh with every flash. Breath Blue Active with Odor Stop.
Enjoy creamy coffee with velvety froth. Anytime, anywhere, any way you like it. Only 76 cents per cup. Now's good for Nescafe Cafe Creations.
Paid for more. More what exactly?
More NBN speed for more Australians.
More streaming! More streaming!
More working from home.
And more gaming.
More than you can imagine.
Cool.
We're delivering more NBN speed to more Australians.
Criminals don't come as standard. It's why CrimSafe is designed to not only meet, but to surpass Australian standards for strength testing. All to keep you and your family safe.
I think we need a new sofa. A dark one.
Light one, babe.
The light one.
The light one.
Oh, the light one. It's an in at the moment. And they're great for the children. Well, that decided then.
Whatever you're looking for, find your fantastic.
At Rest, our profits go to members, not shareholders. It's so fair that if you've been with us for 5, 10, or 20 years, really be feeling the fairness. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. In the country, trades can be hard to find. Hunter Valley Modular Homes have the solution. Ready-built, architecturally designed modular homes delivered and installed on site. It's the faster, easier way to build with Hunter Valley Modular Homes.
There are 2 ways to make a mattress. The cheap way, one piece, single-sided, with attached pillow top made out of foam. Yes, Mr. Harvey, they should be 50% off. The best way, 2-piece, double-sided, removable pillow top with thousands of microcoils and a 5-year comfort promise. Sorry, Mr. Harvey, we make them, you don't.
The Bellissimo mattress, made like no other mattress. Making mattresses, nobody makes a better mattress. body.
You're watching NBN News. These are our top local stories. A man has been charged with the attempted murder of a woman during a domestic violence-related stabbing at Lake Haven on the Central Coast. The 56-year-old woman is recovering in hospital. Coffs Harbour Council is investigating the construction of several boardwalks and a jetty at Arrawarra after residents raised concerns about whether a development application had been lodged for the work. A Newcastle restaurateur has been fought back criticism after changing his vegan menu to ensure he can continue to bring home the bacon at Pino's. He says the cost of living crisis was biting into profits. Health and wellbeing have been in a focus as the 50th Aquarius Festival enters its second week in the Northern Rivers. And from the New England to the Central Coast, residents have celebrated Mother's Day with plenty of presents, bright bouquets and brunches. Every day in New South Wales, a person aged 15 to 24 is diagnosed with cancer. But now survival rates for this age group are at an all-time high, with 90% alive 5 years after being diagnosed.
At a time when most teenagers are thinking about what they want to do when they finish school, Olivia Pavlak was told she had leukemia.
And I just cried. I was really shocked. I didn't really know a lot about it.
Instead of hanging out with her friends in Year 12, the 18-year-old from Bonnet Bay completed her final year in hospital. But while the diagnosis changed her life, her chance of surviving the disease has never been better. According to the latest Australian Institute for Health and Welfare report, the 5-year survival rate for adolescents and young adults with blood cancer has increased to 91%, up from 64% in the 1980s.
New South Wales has invested heavily in the people, the health professionals that provide comprehensive care for young people, but also in medical research as well, in innovation, in coming up with smarter targeted therapies that improve cure and reduce side effects.
Hodgkin lymphoma remains the most commonly diagnosed cancer in young Aussies, followed by melanoma and testicular cancer. The biggest increase has been in cases of colorectal and thyroid cancer. However, survival rates are very high, at 95% and 99% respectively. While overall survival improved dramatically, sadly there are still some cancers where survival rates remain lower, including brain, bone and soft tissue sarcomas.
Our work's not done until every person survives their cancer and lives a long and happy, healthy life.
We're going to keep investing, we're going to keep prioritising that because it's important for those families, it's important for those young people, but it's important for our state that we're a world leader in relation to cancer research.
Olivia is now studying to become a nurse because to her these statistics are fellow patients who became family during her cancer journey.
While it's really, 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 really amazing that 90% make it, I think there's still a little push to go to get to that 100% line.
Kate Creedon, NBN News.
Sweden may have taken out the top honours at Eurovision, but Australians still managed to stand out. Perth's Voyager delivered an electric performance, while Sydney's Andrew Lambrou shone representing Cyprus.
Final destination of an incredible voyage, Australia in the Eurovision Grand Final.
We're cheering them on all the way from Wollongong. I love Voyager, that was so good.
Australia's second hope, Sydney man Andrew Lambrou, bringing the firepower for Cyprus. The song contest that crowns the kings and queens of Euro pop, kicking off with a real-life princess. Kate playing the piano in Windsor Castle. Last year's winner from Ukraine taking the stage. And in a show that celebrates the quirky, Finland took it to another level, with possibly the catchiest song of the competition. From indie rock to folk electronic, and whatever this is. The audience was united by music, this year's theme. But it was the favourite and a 2012 winner from Sweden, Loreen, who proved too good to beat. becoming only the second person to win the competition twice. Australia ranking 9th overall. Support filled from inside the arena and all the way back home in Perth, where they'd stayed up all night. Even without the unlikely win, Voyager has still represented Australia proudly and won themselves a new legion of fans right around the world.
Oh my God! What was that?
We have a Perth show coming up in June, and the minute we finish the semi-final, the show sold out. And for us, that means the world.
Andrew's performance for Cyprus, placing 12th.
To be embraced by so many millions of people around the world, it has changed my life.
His parents travelling from Sydney to be here with him for the big night.
We've got Greek Cypriot heritage, but we're Australians first and foremost, so yeah, super proud. Yeah, super proud.
Australia's agreement with Eurovision officially ends this year. It's hoped tonight's strong results will be promising for our future.
And if Australia's not in it, I mean, God, it's Australia's loss. So get in.
In Liverpool, Edward Godfrey, NBN News.
As Ukraine's performers took to the stage at Eurovision, their hometown of Ternopil came under fire in the latest round of Russian strikes. At least 21 people were also injured in a nearby city, a huge fireball erupting following a drone attack. It comes as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with the Pope at the Vatican to discuss the war. 5 days of violence in Gaza and the West Bank appears to have ended, with Israel and militant group Palestinian Islamic Jihad agreeing to a ceasefire. Palestinians have taken to the streets celebrating the announcement. At least 37 people have been killed over the past week. It may be one of the oldest national parks in the world, but for 5 decades, it's been without some of its original residents. Now, Sydney's Royal National Park is welcoming the return of a long-lost local, the Platypus.
It's been a long time since Australia's first national park has seen a platypus within its perimeter. In fact, it's been half a century.
Drought and a warming climate has meant it's finding it harder to hang on there.
But thanks to National Parks and Wildlife, Taronga Zoo, the Uni of New South Wales and the World Wildlife Fund, this week 5 female platypus were released in Royal National Park, translocated from southern New South Wales.
We're putting back a culturally important environmental sentinel.
We've also had all of the excellent work done by Taronga Zoo in terms of caring for these platypus and getting them ready for release. But we've also had the National Park Service who've cleaned up the river and done the restoration that we need to make so that it was safe for them to come here.
And part of that was freeing the park of a regular platypus predator.
We've been able to plan and deliver a fox control program across the whole landscape in Royal.
4 males will soon be added to the mix, teams keeping tabs as the platypus establish their new territory.
Tracking their movements and hopefully see some juveniles emerging next year.
What this means is that we will have a significantly improved understanding of rewilding programs for the platypus.
We're drawing a line in the sand saying we don't accept conservation, the status quo. We want to restore.
Mike Dalton, NBN News.
An unusual game of hide and seek for police officers in the US state of Ohio who were forced to pull a suspect out of a dryer during a drug bust. Others hid in the attic or under blankets, police eventually unearthing them, as well as narcotics that included methamphetamine, cocaine and marijuana. Sophie Scanlon joins us now with the day's sport, and finally something for the Newcastle Knights to celebrate, Sophie.
Yes, it was an impressive win at home for the Knights. Skipper Kalen Ponga sending a message to Queensland selectors. Coming up, we'll have all the highlights from the Knights' powerhouse performance after the break. Also, the Sharks bounce back against the Seagulls. Plus, David Warner whacks his opponents and critics for 6 ahead of the Ashes.
At Red Energy, we're proud to have been awarded Australia's most trusted electricity provider 3 years in a row. And because our team is right here in Australia, you can run almost any...
Making my 20, but
20% off orders over $10 this week, only on the My Macca's app. Sleep in, did ya? Man, you two are hard work. Hello, kids. Hey, your hat. Water bottles.
Never ends.
Love you.
With an average return of 8.88% per annum for the past 38 years, it's good to know your money is working as hard as you. Good job. Seabus Super, making hard work pay off.
There'll be lunches from Cape York to Broome, and on warm afternoons near Mudgee. Because Tip Top bakes every day with Australian wheat.
What are your underarms like? Waxed? Natural? Unique? Dove Advanced Care. Its improved formula is enriched with caring oil for softer underarms and 48-hour protection. Dove Advanced Care.
Are you ready to go next level?
I'm alphabetizing my vinyl. That's pretty next level.
Well, I mean financially. NBN Plus automatically categorizes your transactions. Hey, you got any Photonica?
I don't even know what that is.
The Big Scarly Lounge sale is on now. Save up to 50% on a huge range of leather and fabric lounges. Up to half price at the Nick Scarly Lounge sale. On now.
Alan will pay your mortgage at Sophia Waters and Madison Rise for a whole year. 12 months paid up front. Fixed price turnkey homes with nothing more to do. Enjoy the freedom of no mortgage for a whole year. Visit us at Sophia Waters and Madison Rise or alan.com.au.
The magic of Disney on Ice is back. Be enchanted by your favourite Disney stories as you soar to new heights of excitement and wonder. Disney on Ice presents 100 Years of Wonder at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre from July 20. Book now at Ticketek.
Kaylin Ponga has sent a huge message to Queensland selectors, starring in the Knights' 46-26 win over the Titans. Proving his 5'8" credentials, the Newcastle captain scored a try and set up two more to help his side post its biggest score in over a decade.
Coming off the bye, the Knights' armour was full of cobwebs early. What was he looking at? Hastings blowing them out with a dab into the path of a diving Dom Young. Young, with those long arms, makes the catch and goes over in the corner. David Fafita replying with a barnstorming run. David Fafita careers through. Dropping a bomb proving costly for the Knights winger, his Titans counterpart showing him how it's done under the high ball. It's brilliant from Philip Sani, soaring through the air. Kaylin Ponga sending Origin selectors a reminder and his side into the break on level playing fields. Kaylin Ponga kicks for threes. The visitors shooting out of the sheds and back into the lead. The ball back in field. Jaden Campbell gets there. Greg Marzu carrying four of his former teammates over the line. Gets there eventually. He just stayed in the wrestle. The Newcastle skipper toying with the Titans' defence. Any questions over his ability to play in the halves quickly put to rest. Kaylin Ponga! What a game he is having! His Queensland teammate getting in on the party. Dane Gagai! Through a couple of turnstiles, they are powering towards the finish line, Newcastle. The Knights running in 46 points. Their biggest total since 2013. I'm proud of my performance today, but also the boys. To get that win at home, it was a big win for us and we needed it. Jack Howard, NBN News.
The Sharks have won back-to-back matches at Brookvale Oval for the first time to move back into the top four. With both Origin coaches in attendance, Cronulla held off a fast-finishing Manly side 20-14.
All eyes on Manly fullback Tom Trebojevic, but another Origin hopeful missed an early assignment. Amoli Olakau'atu steamrolled by Royce Hunt. Scores the opening try for the Sharks. Down a try and soon a man. Josh Eloye looked in serious pain with a suspected shoulder injury. The way he's holding it looks like it's dislocated. And Manly's goal line defence looked disjointed. Katsala right to us scoring them and saving them as Nico Hines stretched out his shoulder after an awkward tackle.
Some concern for that tackle.
The wannabe Blue denied centimetres short in the left corner, with Turbo spending time on the other wing. That's where the Sharks attacked next.
They must score. Radiant is the beneficiary this time. 3 tries to 0 in favour of the Sharks.
Down by 18 with 18 to go, the Trebojeviches combined.
Now, quick hands, delightful. This is the milestone man, Ruben Garrick.
Skipper Daly Cherry-Evans stepping off his right again and again before linking with Lachlan Poker.
He's going to give the try here. Right back there.
Manly somehow within 6 but straight loss.
We just gave him way too much ball, and it's been a similar story for the last couple of weeks.
Zach Bain.
Talk around Anthony Griffin's future will only intensify this week after the Dragons slumped to their 6th straight loss, thrashed by the Cow. Griffin conceding his side isn't even giving itself the chance to break out of their form slump.
A hug from Ben Hunt before Anthony Griffin faced fresh questions about his coaching future.
It was just, it just wasn't how we wanted to play.
A 6th straight loss for the Saints. Last night was the worst of them.
Put down, hello, Cole Phelps scoops up the ball.
The 42-22 defeat fueling critics who say the coach's time is up.
We played some really good footy, but tonight our execution just, was nowhere near where it needed to be. I'll just, digest this game and get on with it.
The Eels season is on shaky ground. Now 14th on the ladder after their 8-point loss to Canberra. Brad Arthur didn't blame his players.
I'm very proud of our team. They tried their backsides off.
Instead, he went after the referees.
We can't be the best in the competition with our discipline and then get penalised 10 times tonight. I'll never say anything about the referee, but I think tonight we were hard done by.
Junior Barlaw escaping suspension for a cannonball tackle, but Parramatta will be without Sean Lane. He's waiting on scan results from a hamstring injury and fears he could miss more than a month. Sam Jordan, NBN News. The Waratahs' charge towards the Super Rugby finals is gaining momentum following a 3rd consecutive win. Skipper Jack Gordon conceding pre-season expectations may have been the reason behind their slow start to the year.
We were over the pump at the start of the year. It was really difficult. I think the expectation that we put on ourselves was hard, and then, as Darren touched on, you can see us building nicely.
The Tars fought back from 14-0 down to beat the Rebels 38-20, lifting them to 6th on the ladder. For the 2nd straight week, it looks like Collingwood will take down a Sydney AFL team. The Giants have been their own worst enemy at times, and midway through the 3rd quarter at the MCG trailed the Magpies 71-38. The Magpies and Giants also faced off in Super Netball today, the Sydney side snapping a 3-game losing streak with a 56-69 win. The Swifts are into 2nd after a buzzer-beating goal from Imelda Akin-George on the final play of the game, giving them a thrilling 65-64 victory over West Coast. David Warner will be hoping his T20 form carries over into the Test Championship final and the Ashes. The Aussie opener belting his 5th half-century of the IPL tournament for Delhi, 54 from 27 balls. Unfortunately for Warner, his Capitals lost to Punjab, meaning they're out of playoffs contention. Jason Maloney has defied excruciating pain to fulfil his lifelong dream, becoming Australia's newest world boxing champion. Fighting in the white trunks, he broke his hand in the 3rd round, but refused to throw the towel in, winning by majority decision.
From the land down under, Jason Mayhem Maloney!
The 32-year-old clinching the bantamweight title. And after the break, Aussie rider Jack Miller crashes out in the sprint event of the French MotoGP.
Bye. Shut up and take my money.
You could get $4,000 to spend on that special thing for the house. Refinance your home loan with St. George, and you could get $4,000 cash back to spend on whatever you like. Search St. George Refinance or ask your broker today.
HCF is Australia's largest not-for-profit health fund. If we spent millions on an extravagant giveaway, it'd just be taking money away from our members, and they get an average of 90 cents back for every dollar they spend on premiums. So, we thought, what can we give away?
What about stuff from the office?
Okay, what have we got?
I've got this kitty note holder.
That's perfect. Oh, my lucky pen. Is it the world's fanciest sign-up offer? No. Is it the only offer worth taking? Yes.
From the seeds, to the whole grains, to the bowl, to the crunch. Tasty little O's, with fibre from 4 whole grains. Cheerios, all the goodness of whole grains made tasty.
I think we need a sofa. Yes, a dark one.
Light one, babe.
Oh, the light one.
The light one.
Well, that decides it then.
Whatever you're looking for, find your fantastic.
Miles, being Spider-Man is a sacrifice. You have a choice between saving one person and saving every world. I can do both! You can't run forever, kid!
We are supposed to be the good guys.
Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
All stations, stop Spider-Man!
You go, Andy. You go.
In cinemas June 1.
Host Plus is ranked number 1 for returns over 10, 15 and 20 years. A top performer in the long run? That's a plus.
To give your go to Australian
100 years at one Newcastle Entertainment Centre from July 20.
Refresh your home at Harvey Norman. Stay warm now, like the Valley Queen Quilt Cover Set, just $99. From the makers of Sealy Posturepedic, the Sealy Advantage Active Comfort Medium Queen Mattress, Australian-made value at $7.99. The Alanya Queen Bed features a stunning gloss white finish, along with 2 storage drawers and bedhead storage with LED lights and USB charger. Only $17.99. Much more at Harvey Norman now.
This Sports Report brought to you by KFC.
Manchester United is on the verge of returning to the Champions League. A 2-0 win over Wolves has put the Red Devils 4 points clear of 5th place Liverpool, with 3 games remaining in the Premier League season. Man U is equal with Newcastle in 3rd, the Magpies slipping up in a 2-all draw with Leeds. And a wild day for Jack Miller in the MotoGP. The Aussie put in a strong performance to qualify 4th for tonight's French Grand Prix before crashing out of the sprint event later in the session. Newcastle's Jason Doyle narrowly missed out on a podium position at Poland's Speedway GP. The 37-year-old had a dominant win in his semi-final heat. That was as good as it got though. A collision on the 3rd lap of the final resulted in Doyle being disqualified from the race.
Wow! Jason Doyle's going to be absolutely fuming about that.
Doyle now sits 3rd on the championship ladder ahead of round 3 in Prague. The Butcher Boys have snapped a 4-game losing streak with a huge win in the Newcastle Rugby League. Nick Ritter opened Central's account against Lakes, their winger diving on a kick in the corner for their second. The visitors hit back twice to make it a 2-point ball game at the break, but it was all one-way traffic in the second half. Central running in 25 unanswered points to win 35-8. The North Stars made an impressive comeback against Thunder in round 5 of the Australian Ice Hockey League. In the fiery clash, Newcastle was able to claim victory over the home side thanks to a dominant 3rd period. Away from home, the North Stars fell behind in the opening period against Thunder, conceding 2 goals. Canadian import Francis Drolet tried to close the margin without success in the final minutes of the first period.
Then a successful one for the Thunder. 2 goals in 32 seconds.
Out and firing in the second, the Novocastrians halved the deficit from long range early on.
Atkins plays it through and scores.
Tensions erupted minutes later, seeing both sides lose a player. The North Stars firing on target without success before Mackenzie Gallagher was in hot water again to send the visitors into the final period down 2-1. An effort from Matthew Price brought Newcastle level with Perth.
What a play by Ethan Hawes!
But the North Stars were far from finished, pushing in the final minutes of the clash. An impressive one-handed shot by Daniel Burno put them in front.
The North Stars have scored 3 straight to take the lead.
Unsatisfied with the margin, Ethan Hawes took aim.
Seeing eye shot from the point.
To wrap up the fiery clash, 4-2 for the North Stars. In the NBL 1 East, there were mixed results for the Hunter in round 9, with the Maitland Mustangs falling short to the Inner West Bulls 97-91. The Falcons outclassed the Crusaders 99-74. Newcastle's Ryan Beastie took 34 points and 8 rebounds.
Good challenge by Jamal, but Beastie just too effective off the glass.
In the women, Newcastle claimed a dominant win over the Crusaders 98-42, while the Mustangs defeated the Bulls 71-56. In round 11 of the NPL, Charlestown Azuri was an even match with Edgeworth, and Cooks Hill recorded a 3-1 win over Western. Meanwhile, Broadmeadow broke Valentine's winning streak. The Magic clipped Phoenix's wings in the first half by taking 3 goals. In the second, Valentine fought back with Nicholas Martinelli opening the home side's account. Broadmeadow responded by slotting another 2 in the back of the net. Phoenix was only able to close the margin by 1 to see the Magic claim a 5-2 victory. And that's today's Look at Sport. Good stuff. Thank you, Sophie. Stay with us. Lauren Kemp joins us next with your Hunter weather details. Ready? Wow. Mia, can you send me that? Sure. Can you send me that? Hey, can you send me that? Sure. Trying new Malteser's Gold. Too good to keep quiet.
At Tank World, our Aussie-made corrugated poly tanks are tough. Just like our best-selling 23 650 litre from only $26.95. Order your tough tank to catch the rain now. Sale must end tomorrow. Tank World, 1-800-68-69-70.
Nivea 5-in-1 Rich Nourishing Body Lotion with intensive 48-hour moisture from first use for long-lasting hydration and healthy-looking skin. Dermatologically approved. From Nivea, Australia's #1 body brand.
Renovate your bathroom at Harvey Norman for winter warmth. Linsol 3-bar heated towel rail just $199. IXL heat fan and light just $699. And underfloor heating kits from only $298 at Harvey Norman now.
This is a story about a football legend and his 2 bad knees.
I put my body through a lot, especially my knees. In life, I was put on the bench. I have never liked being put on the bench.
So what changed? Paul got fitted for Good Feet arch supports.
Now I'm back in the game, high mountains.
Stop by for your free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Save now, save later with Hunter Home's massive $70,000 of added value.
So visit the Get salty. Get adventurous. Get to O'Neill's Tyre and Auto Care for the legendary open country range from Toyo Tyres and go where others simply can't. Because if you've got wheels, you need O'Neill's.
So if you're looking to save now and save later, visit one of Hunter Home's 9 stunning display homes.
So visit HunterHomeDennisW.com.
Love the outdoors at the Hunter Valley Caravan Camping 4-Wheel Drive Fish and Boat Show with a huge range of exhibits and entertainment for the whole family. May 26 to 28. Tickets only available at the gate. Visit ruralscene.com.au.
Celebrate your new home with Hunter Homes' massive $70,000 of added value inclusion.
There's never been a better time to live with heart. Visit hunterhomesnsw.com.
The weather, brought to you by NRMA Insurance.
We've been treated to yet another weekend of great weather. You might have heard a little thunder yesterday afternoon, though, as heavy showers quickly passed through the eastern seaboard, but that quickly cleared overnight, with sunshine thankfully returning today. Sarah Darling took this sunrise shot at Dungog. Mostly stable conditions are contributing to this trend of early morning fog throughout the valley. We've had quite a few cool mornings like this lately, but it doesn't take long for the fog to clear on these beautiful blue sky days. While on the satellite, there's a moderate amount of low-level cloud producing scattered showers over the bottom half of the continent, while easterly winds are feeding into a series of troughs along the New South Wales and Queensland coasts. In the last 24 hours, some light rain was recorded in the southwestern corner of WA, parts of Tasmania and northern New South Wales up to Queensland, but hardly a drop elsewhere. Mostly settled conditions in the west, South Australia up to the Northern Territory tomorrow, but we may see a little storm activity throughout southwest Queensland due to an inland trough. Only light showers forecast along the east coast as moisture clashes here with high pressure, while a cold front will bring cool winds and rain to Tasmania, and these brisk conditions are set to push slightly further north on Tuesday. Well, the breakdown of La Nina has actually led to the biggest autumn cooling in more than a decade over the last 2 months, and these brisk temperatures will continue for most tomorrow. Brisbane struggling to top 23 degrees there, showers in Sydney at a top of 21 degrees, partly cloudy in Canberra with an icy start. Cool and mostly sunny across the Hunter today, topping out at 20 degrees for most places, 21 at Nora Head and 19 out at Tocal. Only a few light, predominantly westerly winds tomorrow, but we should see conditions turn a little bit more blustery come Wednesday. Light showers possible along the coastal fringe tomorrow and the chance of a thunderstorm inland, and very similar temperatures on the way, topping out at 19 at Woy Woy and the Entrance, 22 the top in Newcastle, 21 degrees at Raymond Terrace. A very chilly start to the day inland though, dipping below 10 degrees in the valley and areas further west overnight, up into the low 20s during the day. Well, it's going to be quite flat off the coast tomorrow, seas only at around half a metre, with swell at 1 and hardly a breath of wind as well. Tomorrow, the high tide will come in at around 4:30 in the morning, the low there right on 11 a.m, before the high returns at 5:30. Sun to rise at 6:34 and setting at 5:04. Some light to moderate showers on and off throughout the week in Newcastle, but a few moments of sunshine in between. Low 20s the top through to next weekend. Remaining very dry in Scone over the next 7 days, but chilly during the day and temperatures really dropping there overnight. Overcast on the central coast tomorrow and a top of 20 degrees, 22 on Tuesday, and skies clearing a little before showers return on Wednesday, but we're looking at a mostly fine weekend after that. And checking out the surf, there were some great little waves across the Hunters beaches today, and the water is still a little warmer than usual for this time of year, so great news for swimmers. We should see that swell drop back just a little tomorrow, with a couple of calmer coastal days on the way to start the week, with seas no higher than a metre for the next couple of days. So, Jane, those cooler temperatures definitely settling in for winter.
Okay, thank you, Lauren. And that is NBN News for this Sunday. From all of the team here, happy Mother's Day to all of the wonderful mums, including our own. Good night.